Hello. Let's go ahead and talk about this Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia fight. And if you haven't already, go ahead and give the video a like and subscribe as well. I'm trying to get to 400 subscribers by the end of the year. All right, so Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia are about to have a super mega fight. I wouldn't say it's a mega fight, but it's definitely a fight that the boxing fans have been wanting. These are two very popular young boxers who everybody wants to see who's going to come out on top in this fight. Now, if you asked me, I would say that there is a pretty significant advantage to the one who seems to have more championship experience, but we have seen it in the past where we've seen a young boxer with who may have had slightly less experience than another boxer come out on top just due to sheer grit, determination, natural talent, or just catch them with a nice clean shot. You know, anything can happen in the sport of boxing. You never know what's going to happen. So first, let's look at Ryan Garcia. Now, Ryan Garcia is a very long, very fast, very hard punching fighter who has, I wouldn't say the best footwork, but it is serviceable. He can get around the ring a little bit, but I wouldn't say that it's good. If I was going to give it a grade, I would say he has C-level footwork, he has A-level power, and he has A+ level speed in his hands. Also seems he has some negative traits when it comes to his defensive habits. You can see him backing up straight back. You can often see him throwing punches and not getting his head off the center line. And his biggest offensive flaw that we've seen in plenty of fights is that he fights very tall with his chin straight up in the air, just asking for someone to hit him, just like Luke Campbell did, and was able to knock him down. But because the man had a lot of grit and determination, he was able to get up, get Luke Campbell with a strong left hook to the body, and get Luke Campbell out of there. Now, when it comes to Ryan Garcia, I think that his key to winning this fight will be to not get caught with anything if he can avoid it, not get caught with anything big, not get caught with anything that he does not see coming. And also it will be to be conservative with his shots, because if he were to go out there, right, and he were to just throw a whole lot of punches like he typically tries to do, if he gets too eager for the knockout, or if he gets too eager pressing forward, a lot of times his defensive habits that are negative come out, and it usually ends in him either not looking as good as he could have been if he was more economical, thoughtful with his shots. But I do think that he does have the ability to really hurt Gervonta Davis, because he has a very fast left hook. He also has a very strong and a very fast straight right hand. He also, I wouldn't say he has the best jab in the world, but he is a very tall, long fighter. And if he works with his jab, which sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't, but he does have a jab that is serviceable. If he uses that jab to his to the best of his ability, then he can really set Gervonta up to get hit with something big. But I think that that's where I kind of lean more in this fight when it comes to Gervonta Davis, because Gervonta Davis, he's a boxer puncher who specializes in counter punching, and he specializes in using his jab. He also has very good footwork. Like, he has very good footwork coming forward. He has very good footwork going backward. You saw that with the fight that he had against Isaac Pitbull Cruz. You saw him cutting off the ring and having a really great fight when he fought Mario Barrios. He seems to be more mobile, and he seems to have a higher fight IQ and less defensive bad habits than someone like Ryan Garcia. Also, he typically seems to be the type of fighter to bait his opponent into throwing a lot of punches. Then once he baits his opponent into throwing a lot of punches, he capitalizes on any defensive mistakes that they make by shooting his shots in between their shots and catching them with a good counter. Particularly good with his very strong, powerful left hand, since he's a southpaw. Now, with all that being said, the way that I see this fight going down is I see Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia both being very economical in the beginning of the fight, because they both know that either of them does have the power to really hurt each other. Gervonta Davis isn't someone to take his opponent slightly. Even when he was fighting against Rolly Romero, he knew that even though Rolly Romero telegraphed a lot of his shots, even though he did that yeet 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 stuff that he always does, where he just yells out everything. That he knew that Rolly Romero did have enough power to hurt him, because Rolly Romero hits hard as crap. So he knew and he understood that, and he took that into consideration. He was very economical with his punches in the beginning. He was also fighting off the back foot a lot, and he was also baiting Rolly Romero to come in. And then once Rolly Romero felt confident in letting his hands go significantly against Gervonta Davis lured him right into a trap on the ropes and put him out. And I think the same thing could possibly happen to Ryan Garcia, although I see Ryan Garcia as a much more competent, much more complete fighter, and much more talented fighter than Rolly Romero, if I'm just being honest. Now, when it comes to this fight, I think that this is a gigantic stepping stone for whoever the winner of this fight is. I think that although I do see that Ryan Garcia is a less developed fighter than Gervonta Davis, I see Ryan Garcia as a very high level, advanced, like extremely advanced prospect. Like he's a contender, but he just hasn't fully utilized his talent so far yet. He hasn't really bought out the best out of himself yet. He is relatively young. He still has a little bit of a ways to go before he truly completes the best version of Ryan Garcia. So what you're getting now is kind of similar to how you saw when, Canelo was fighting Floyd Mayweather, where you had a fighter who, even though, Gervonta Davis isn't as old as Floyd Mayweather when he fought Canelo, he just has, you saw the difference in experience. You saw the difference in ability. You saw the difference in fighting IQ when those two fought. And I think that's what you're going to see in this fight. But it will catapult whoever is able to win this fight to even higher heights, because Ryan Garcia, especially when you talk about people like Canelo and Oscar De La Hoya, he has everything that he needs to become a big name like Canelo Alvarez, to become a big name like Oscar De La Hoya. The only thing that he's missing currently is the resume. He has the charisma. He has the popularity. He has a very exciting fighting style. He has the backing of most Mexican fighters. He has all of that on his side. All he's waiting for is a big, premier win over a big name to really shoot him into superstardom and to really get the ball rolling on making him a household name. And Gervonta, he's the same way. He's really on the cusp of becoming a household name and becoming a superstar, and he's just lacking the resume as well. If he were to beat Ryan Garcia, then get into a fight with maybe a Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson or Vasily Lomachenko, and just really start to rack up names on his resume, it will be to the point where he will essentially won't be able to be denied, because just like Ryan Garcia, he does have that star factor about him, and he has a very exciting, very casual, friendly fighting style where he essentially knocks out the majority of his opponents. Pretty much knocked out every opponent he's been in the ring with the exception of Isaac Pitbull Cruz. So this is looking to be a great fight, but I do lean towards Gervonta Davis in this fight. And I think the biggest concern that I had was just the fact that I don't really see a lot of people, even in Ryan's camp, being confident in his ability to win this fight, because it does not seem like Oscar De La Hoya or a lot of the other people in Ryan's camp even wanted him to take this fight. It seems like this was just Ryan truly believing in himself, pushing for the fight on both sides, whether it's Gervonta Davis's camp or whether it was Ryan Garcia's camp. They admitted that this fight was only happening even though people on Gervonta Davis's side don't see that Ryan's ready for this fight, and people on Ryan Garcia's side don't see that Ryan's ready for this fight. This fight is happening because Ryan Garcia truly believes in himself. He truly believes in himself, and he wants to prove it on the big stage against an incredible opponent, and I can't knock him for doing that. I think that that's a great thing for the sport. I think that that's a great thing for, boxing in general. But is that the best thing for Ryan Garcia's health right now? Is that the best thing for his ego if he were to get beat? And oftentimes, or sometimes, he does struggle with his mental health. Is that the best thing for his career if he were to get flatlined? I don't know. But those questions will all be answered on Saturday night, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what happens, man. And that's really all I got to say about that, man. I'm looking forward to a great fight. Looking forward to seeing what Ryan Garcia can do in the ring. Looking forward to seeing what Gervonta Davis can do in the ring. I got Gervonta Davis knocking out Ryan Garcia somewhere around the 7th or 8th round. That's my prediction. Leave your prediction down in the comments. If you really truly believe in Ryan Garcia, you really think that Ryan Garcia can stop Gervonta Davis, which he does have the natural talent to do so, but does he have the skills to do so? Does he have the defense to do so? I'm not sure. If I was a bet man, I would bet against it. But just let me know what you think, man. This has been Josh from the Average Josh Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And that's all I got to say about that, man. I'm out.